Sheltering is one of the most vital components of the human life. The sheltering space provides protection which ultimately gives.
This video is from Laureate Design Lab, School of Design, Art, Architecture, Planning, Consulting and Research.
Sheltering is one of the most vital components of the human life. The sheltering space provides protection which ultimately gives perpetuation to life. Curve is in all natural forms. Nature expresses itself through undulating curved lines. It's not exhibiting Euclidean geometry such as plane and solid geometry. Not only the aesthetic qualities of nature such as drops of water of rain, but also structural, even functional qualities affect the designer. Thus, the earlier shelters of human beings had their analogies from the nature. Vernacular architecture, which is generally constructed of soil, mud, or some reinforcement into it, is curvilinear in form. For uninterrupted larger space in churches, mosques, halls, auditoriums, and stadiums, designers became more interested in curvilinear forms as a tool for larger span of the space. Today's material science led to new forms of curvilinear architecture. The later part of 19th century brought the Art Nouveau movement with its fluid curvilinear lines. It is important to know that the geometrical forms are only one aspect of structure besides the materials and constructional techniques or the workmanships available or came together to make the structure. Here we will be examining structure through its geometrical configuration. In long span curvilinear structure, the relationship between dead weight, strength, and proportions becomes critical. Let's talk about interdependent threads in the spider web, which are woven together well, can sustain both weight and strength. A cloud, a grain of wheat, a grain of sand, the human body, each is a miracle of structural design. Buildings, as any other physical entity, require structural frameworks to stay safe for habitation, which can be met by curvilinear architecture too. Otherwise, Euclidean geometry is there being used world over. The structure or built-up entity creates space suitable to a particular function. Lightweight wing bones of birds, inspired hollow pipes and sections of steel or steel truss system of structure used to create space for large gatherings at railway stations and airport, etc. In many cases, it is acceptable to use the terms form and structure interchangeably. The term form is more suitable for an entity taken as a whole, whereas the term structure should be used when the whole is analyzed by its components. Therefore, curvilinear architecture can be called both form or structure. Its most parts, if divided by a grid, gives monolithic structural impression. Long span structures can be built using flat construction such as heavy girders, trusses, space frames. However, for spans approximately 30 meters, it is often more economical to build a system made up of curved members. Now, the complexities of curved structure. main objection to curved structural systems is the complexity or the complexities and difficulties faced during the construction, visualization of these forms by designers, making of drawings and details, and finally execution. So overall, curved structure gives certain problems of visualization, making the drawing and execution, so that can be sorted by using modern computational software. Architectural form in the 20th century remained linear due to the limitations of hand-drawn architectural drawings, which led to linear buildings that are easily rendered in 2D form. On the other hand, three-dimensional curvilinear form is facilitated by three-dimensional rendering tools by integrating technology. Any form that can be computed by means of digital mediums can now be constructed. There is provision of robotic morphing of the geometry which can be used in architecture, which cannot be possible to morph or carve by hand or by machine. Historical curvilinear structural forms can be counted as arches, vaults, domes, shells, catenaries, pneumatic structures, and some contemporary curvilinear structural forms. Every building should fulfill these following requirements: functionality, safety, and economy. Or it can be expanded to stability and equilibrium, strength and stiffness, economy, functionality, finally, not to forget aesthetics.